Hey everyone, in this video I want to share with you something that has made my deadlifts feel a little bit easier. Trend. Lately I've been trying to minimize time spent between my deadlift reps. Set the weight down, pick it up. Set the weight down, pick it up. In the past, I had a bad habit of spending way too much time between my deadlift reps. I'd set the weight down, take a couple of breaths, stall, think about a number of cues, remind myself of how many reps I had left, take a couple more breaths, unnecessarily fidget around, take another breath, and then pull. It was actually quite cringeworthy to watch. I was taking my time between reps because I thought that it was helping me. I'd set the weight down, take a couple breaths, regroup, run through my cues, and then pull. In hindsight, I don't think that it was actually helping me. In fact, I'd make the argument that it was making the sets feel harder than they should have. A set of 5 was taking me 45 to 60 seconds. And I'm willing to bet that at the end of those sets, my rate of perceived exertion was higher than it would have been if I was able to finish the same weight, same reps in 20 to 25 seconds. Even though it's only 5 reps, deadlifting for 45, 50, 55, 60 seconds is a long time to deadlift.
Omar, I got a question.
So I think at minimum, the bar has to come to a complete stop. So making sure that they're not touch and go reps. But after completing a repetition, it depends upon the number of repetitions. And actually shout out to Bryce Crotch at Calgary Barbell. That I started implementing something, which is essentially that if it's 3 or less reps on squat, bench, deadlift, but in particular for the deadlift for me, I try and keep that same brace I managed to get from the first rep. So I'll do a rep, set it down, try and take actually the minimum amount of time between repetitions, and then I'll do those 3 repetitions. The set maybe that Alan's gonna show, actually, my little sensitive hands aren't used to knurling, so I took a little longer, what you might be noticing. I think you should take your time to set up between deadlift reps. I personally prefer the minimum amount of time, but I've seen people absolutely crush it taking a longer rest. I think the amount of time necessary in order to brace properly, get set up, have all those cues so you're tight for that position, because the deadlift starts from a dead stop unlike the bench press or squat.
Like Omar said, breathe, brace, set up. You don't need to waste any more time than the time it takes you to do those 3 things. If you find that your deadlift sets are unnecessarily long and you are pausing and stalling between your deadlift reps, I would suggest shaving a couple of seconds off time spent between your deadlift reps by holding yourself accountable to a rhythm. Set the weight down, breathe, brace, pull. Set the weight down, breathe, brace, pull. Another thing that's going to help you is to practice setting the weight down to the correct starting position so that you can minimize adjustments and movement between reps. I don't want you guys to twist what I'm saying and think that I'm telling you to rush through your sets or to be reckless with your deadlifts, grip it and rip it. I'm just encouraging you to spend a little less time between reps with the barbell resting on the floor. Some of you set the weight down, take a few breaths, wait until you feel like you're recovered or until you're ready to pull. And I don't think that those 4, 5, or 6 seconds spent between deadlift reps are doing anything to restore your energy. In fact, you're probably wasting energy. And further, if you're running through 5 or 6 cues in your head, you are thinking way too much. I'll give myself maybe 1 cue on my working sets or my heavy sets. Keep the bar close, push your feet through the floor, whatever it is. I don't think that you should be overthinking and running through a number of cues in between every single deadlift rep.
For me, my groove's pretty good, so I don't overthink and I don't really put any time between. I do want the weight to fully dissipate in the ground. I don't want to get like a, not to bash any type of training, but a CrossFit bounce off of it. I like to let the weight dissipate, so I'm pulling, if I'm doing sets with 405, I want to pull 405 each time. If I have an issue that I'm particularly trying to handle, I'd like to take credit for it, who knows, but the Ed Cohn style deadlift, I just noticed that he kind of controlled with a medium speed eccentric the weights on the way down, and with the deadlift bar you'd kind of let the whip go, stay in that position and pull from there. I found for me that allows me to replicate what I would like my starting position to be over and over and over. So any sets I pretty much try to do like that. If I have a real issue, which isn't too likely, but sometimes with my initial rep, right? Some people are killer at sets of 5, or like, oh, why is my set 3, 4, 5 always so much better than 1 and 2? Then I might personally, or like a client, deadlift, take a step away, deadlift, step away, and that'll get you really freaking tired. But and it's a little bit exaggerated, but that'll make sure that you at least have more practice in the setup portion of the deadlift single rep, which is power lifting.
So to recap, stalling and overthinking between my deadlift reps was causing my sets to be much longer than they needed to be, which in turn was probably putting my rate of perceived exertion higher than it would have been if I was to just not stall, not overthink, and do these 5 reps in 20 to 25 seconds. Like implementing anything new into your routine, it's gonna be different, might be a little bit challenging at first, but with enough practice, you'll get it. Thanks for watching, and always remember, tread on time!
Did you just combine your sets to be done?
I got tired of watching.